Hey everyone, this is Khalil, and this is the third day of 30-day accent challenge. So let's play the video, let's practice the American accent.
On my channel page, or you can go to speechmodification.com and go under free resources, free online practice, and you'll find the whole 30-day challenge, including additional exercises, practice exercises, PDFs, downloads. So I suggest checking that out. And today we're going to continue with our theme from yesterday, talking about, good morning, Pascal, talking about thought groups and intonation. So as I said yesterday, we do a lot of videos in speech modification on our channel that are very specific, good morning, that are very specific to details of pronunciation, difficult sounds, looking at accent patterns and specific sounds and words, as well as intonation and other big picture aspects of American accent. So today, yesterday we talked about, your assignment was to listen for the thought groups by noticing the pauses in speech and the pitch contours that we use for intonation. That's a little bit of a difficult concept, and it's something we'll be coming back to throughout the 30 days so that you get more and more comfortable with that idea. But I hope that overall big picture look at intonation was helpful for you in thinking beyond just in correcting error patterns sounds wise. And so you can watch the video from yesterday, as I said, in the 30-day challenge playlist. Today, for day 3, we're going to go back to the sentence we started with in the first day of the challenge. So if you haven't done that yet, don't worry, you can do it after the broadcast. On day 1, though, those of you who have seen that video or were part of that live broadcast, you recorded yourself saying the sentence, "It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great." So if you haven't done that yet, you can go ahead and record yourself with that sentence. We were using that as a baseline, something to compare so that we notice the changes that you're making as we do these exercises in the 30-day challenge. So let's look at the thought groups in that sentence from the first day. I'll remind you that thought groups are groups of words that go together. We tend to pause in between thought groups and have an intonation pattern for each thought group. Okay, so here's that sentence. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great. Okay, so first of all, there's a comma right here between the two halves of the sentence. So that tells me there's going to be a pause there. That's definitely two different thought groups. First part of the sentence, second part of the sentence. Secondly, the first part of the sentence is pretty long, so there's good possibility there's going to be more than one thought group there. When I'm talking, my thought groups happen fairly naturally. When you're first trying to implement this in your speech, you may have to think about it, and using a written sentence or saying a sentence and then sectioning it out and looking for the thought groups is a way to make it a little bit easier than just talking and being able to do it right away. So one thought group, another one that might be more than one thought group. Today what we're going to do to help you with this concept of thought groups is that we're going to find the important words in the phrase. This will help make the thought groups more clear. So if we think about this sentence, it's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge and I sound really great. What I want you to think about is, are there any words that I could leave out and still get the meaning of this sentence? Or another way of looking at it is, which words really need to be there for me to know what this sentence means? So let's just think about that. Definitely, I have to keep first, I think, and day. First day, that was an important part of what we were talking about on the first day. But I don't really need its or the. Then here, the important part is 30-day accent challenge. I think those are all pretty important. Of the, maybe not so much. I probably don't need actually this day, because I already have day here, first day. And so let's check this out for this section. So if I say first day 30 accent challenge, I can't quite get the meaning there. I actually probably need first day of 30 accent challenge. First day of 30 accent challenge. Yeah, that's kind of the meaning. Or I could say first day 30-day accent challenge. So you can see some of these words are going to be much less important to convey the meaning of this sentence. And so the important words are more likely going to be the words that are stressed. And usually I'm going to have one, maybe two stressed words in a thought group. So these other words will be unstressed. When we're speaking, we're not actually going to leave these words out. Obviously, that would be confusing, and we don't talk that way. But American speakers will stress the important words and reduce the unstress the other words. So they leave those small words like it's the, of the, unstressed. That means I'm going to be saying them quickly, running them together, and stretching out the other words. So we primarily stress words by holding them longer. We've looked at that in my intonation videos. You can go to that playlist, and I have a video about stretching the important words. Also, a lot of videos where I'm marking some sentences so you can see those intonation patterns, and we're going to do that today in today's lesson as well. So for this sentence, the stressed words, if I'm going to stretch them out, would be, let's see, that's my next action. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great. All right, so let me mark that the way I would in my videos. I tend to use the color red for the length of sentences and syllables. So in those words that we dropped out, it's the first day. All right, so right away, it's the first day. You can hear it's just really condensed, reduced and short, but first day, I have to stretch those up. It's the first day of the 30-day. Okay, so I'm
It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great.
actually not really stressing that day too much because I did talk about this day. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge. So in this word, accent, I'm also going to pay attention to the syllables. Accent, the first syllable is long, accent is short. And then same with challenge.
It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and and I sound really great. And I sound really great.
Challenge. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge.
And I sound really
And
great.
I sound really great. And I sound really great. So these are fast, these are stretched. You can see, as I said, many videos for intonation where I've marked those patterns for you in my intonation playlist. The idea there is that we just did is that to give you the concept that the important words are going to affect your thought groups, are going to affect your intonation pattern. The other thing that we do, that I do in my videos and we do in our speech, is we use pitch in those contexts too. So we'll come back to this in a moment and I'll show you the pitch contours. But let's try the exercise with finding the important words on a few more sentences. Now these same sentences, PDFs, recordings, visuals, are all available for you on speechmodification.com, day 3 of the accent challenge. So you can get these materials and try this on your own. I'm also going to teach you, the reason I'm teaching you this is so that you can use it with your own sentences, with other sentences that you hear, so you can start to hear those thought groups, start to hear that intonation pattern. All right, let's try these sentences. Which words are important? First sentence, I've been working. I've been working.
Okay, let's practice. Let me practice this first. I've been working. She told me about the accident. I need to get some new shoes. I have a job interview on Tuesday. Let me say it one more time. I have been working. She told me about the accident. I need I need to get some new shoes. I have a job interview on Tuesday.
Let's see. Well, pretty much one word is important there. And I would say that's working. I've been working. Next sentence. She told me about the accident. All right, so I definitely need accident, and that's accident. First syllable stressed, accident. She told me about the accident. Probably also told. She told me about the accident. Okay? Next two, I'm going to leave for you to try on the website. And I'll show you.
I need I need to get some new shoes. I have a job interview on Tuesday.
You'll see the sentences and the what I think is important and how I stressed it if you take a look at the website. So knowing that there's two stressed words here, I probably have two thought groups too. And I'm now going to show you how I mark the pitch changes. So, first one, I've been working. I've been working. I rise up to the stressed syllable and I fall off. I've been working. So if you've been wondering what these pitch contours, these blue and red lines are in my videos, now you know. She told me about the accident. Okay, two thought groups. She told me, usual pattern, rises up, told me. She told me about the accident. About the accident. Okay, so rises up to the stress syllable and then falls off. Let's listen to them one more time. I've been working. She told me about the accident. Most important part really is lengthening those words. Pitch is extra. We do have variations in pitch, we do have variations in length, but a lot of people, when they're speaking English as a foreign language, tend to be more even across their whole sentence. So they might be more like, I've been working. Actually, they probably say, I have been working. Or she told me about the accident. And that's harder for the Americans to listen to and interpret which words are the most important. So if you can learn to stretch those important words, that's a big piece of intonation and of sounding American. Okay, so we went through, we found the important words, we said those sentences with those important words in mind, and we naturally fell into the thought groups. We saw the pitch contours just like we did in day two, rising up to the stress word and falling off. So let's look at our day one sentence one more time, and this is going to be today's assignment. I would like you to go back to your original recording. If you haven't made it yet, try it first just by saying it, reading the sentence. You can go to day one on the accent challenge or back in the video. We'll look at it again. And we're going to try our day one sentence with this new thought of what's important. So we marked it's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge. And let's take a look at the pitch on this one. Now what we're going to do for today's assignment is re-record yourself saying the same sentence and thinking about the thought groups, thinking about which words are important and thinking about the pitch contours. You can use my model, you can listen to me and repeat, and you'll definitely hear the change in your speech. You can also try it without repeating my model and see if you can just do it thinking about those important words and thinking about the pitch. Listening and repeating the model is easier and you'll be more likely to do it. It's a great thing to do because you can hear in your recording, you can compare and hear those changes. Doing it on your own is a next step towards getting it all the time in your own speech. So, one more time.
Okay, so it's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I feel really great.
It's the first day, so if I'm thinking just about the length, it's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great, pitch-wise. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great. Okay, so my pitch is kind of going up. Now, I did that a little bit differently each time that I said it. On the website, there's a recording and a consistent model that matches what I've done. There can be some variability in pitch, certainly. I would say focusing on the length and the important words in the thought groups and having those pauses is going to be really helpful. So, your assignment, go back, record yourself doing it this way with thinking of the thought groups, then listen to your day one recording and listen to today's recording and compare the two. Which one sounds more American to you? Do you find that using thought groups and lengthening helped change your speech? Does it sound more American? Did those intonation patterns help? This is something you can do on these sentences I've given you, provided on the website, and on anything that you're saying, other sentences that you hear other people saying. So it's an exercise to be thinking and practicing. I recommend trying it out. That's today's assignment. Take those sentences or choose something else. Try this patterning, lengthening the important words and keeping the other words quicker and unstressed. So thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. Let me read it again. It's the first day of the 30-day accent challenge, and I sound really great. There's the third one I completed, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching.